Hello again, everybody. It's Harry Boxer, the technical trader at techtrader.com. It's Thursday night, November the 10th. These are the charts of the day. Well, another follow-through session, although in the morning a nasty drop. It came back well. The Dow all-time highs, the S&P to I think near the highs for the year, and not too far from the all-time highs. But more importantly, Nasdaq 100 got a really smack today, even though it did come back off the lows dramatically. So I'm going to show you the charts here in a moment. You can see that what we're looking at here is a market that dove in the morning after a little bit of a pop sharply. Same here on the S&P. If you notice, the S&P though held the trend line and held the channel bottom. So that kind of bolstered the fact that this was more of a tech drop with a lot of big names like Amazon, Google, Apple, Netflix. It's all and Priceline all getting smacked. I mean hard. Now there was a three-wave corrective rally and then a late pullback. I'm going to have to see what tomorrow brings. I like the S&P pattern. I don't think it's as bad as the NTRI, that's for sure. It's got a large wedge type pattern versus the S&P right now. That's a little suspect. But the volatility in the market is phenomenal. Yet we've had a huge move on the S&P. Take a look. That's taken it from 2084 to 2184. It's 100 points, almost straight up, with just a little pullback here. It's overbought. We probably, I mean, when I say overbought, it's the right kind of overbought. You're getting a strong thrust from the get-go. Most intermediate bottoms come like this. And then they pull back and then they work their way higher. Let's go to the charts of the day here. There's a lot of good-looking charts I want to show you. AGX, now an infrastructure play. I'm going to go over all of them right now. This is an engineering construction firm, and after Trump got elected, a lot of these stocks started to move. You'll see the daily chart shows that it popped yesterday. Today had a breakaway gap. I'm looking for a retest quickly of the 60 area, which may happen tomorrow. We get through that, we're looking at a stock in the high 60s, 67, 8, and eventually something closer to 80. Fantastic chart with good technicals. Some of the other infrastructure plays include Caterpillar Tractor, of course, for construction equipment. You can see the way this has moved, but the big breakaway gap yesterday, a nice surge today. Now eventually, because of the large inverse pattern, you can see that the long decline that took this from 110 all the way down to the 50s, nearly in half, was reversed with a V bottom and a pullback to the moving averages and a little bit of a wedge. That broke out, platform popped, retested. Anyway, this does look higher. I would imagine we're going to see 105, 108 up in that area, not too long. Century Aluminum's an infrastructure play to it with, obviously building materials, and you can see that CENX popped up today, $1.81, 24% on 4 million plus. Nice day. It's at resistance from the May high near 940. If we do get through here, I can see the stock getting up another 60% up towards 15. Top of the channel, lateral resistance tells me 14, 15 zone. This one's got 7 days to cover in addition. Another infrastructure play would be NUE. It's in the steel sector. It exploded for 15% or $7.77 today. Actually, that was yesterday and today together. It's now through resistance, which has me believing on a weekly basis and now an all-time basis that is at the highest level since 08, 8-year high, which means we may very well see this make a move up towards the 70-71 range, which would be my swing trade target on this one. Up there. Now, a lot of these are short-term extended, but if we see any pullback consolidations, it could be very attractive. Another is TEX, which we put out as a swing yesterday. Had a bit of a follow-through today. But the overall structure shows a left-handed extended V and then a right-handed bottom. This is almost a head and shoulders. And then couldn't get through the neckline, so it backed off one more time. This time it's blown through it. I was up a couple percent today, but more importantly, it looks to me like I'm checking the longer term pattern. The major declining top line was broken with a spike, a retest, and now the breakout. And there is a bit of resistance up near 29.5, but I think 32.33 will be tested. And finally, USCR, US Concrete, looking awfully good. It's exploded from 45 to 59, almost 60. About a 35% run up just in the last week. taking out a little inverse head and shoulders. Here's your left shoulder, head and right shoulder, and neckline. Now we're up through secondary resistance, backed off and closed just beneath it, but eventually I'm looking at a target in the 67 range. Now a few other random stocks that are looking good. AQMS, you remember when we traded that in April, May, June, it did very well with it. Then it cracked here hard in 2 days. But it's finally settled into a base over the last few months and broke out this week. 6 days in a row up. And looking like it wants to go higher. I wouldn't be surprised to see this test the 13 range short term. And if we get through that, the stock can take off into the mid-high teens. But for now, with 22 days to cover, 22.7, I'd look for pullback opportunities. Let's take a look at some biotech stocks. Boy, they are really ripping back, but I want to show you how extended they are. Now, obviously, ARIA got hammered back from 14.35 all the way down to 8 3/4. Stabilized for a week, and then boom, with most of the biotechs. This one could be extended. It closed above the 50 for the first time in a month. So I'd be looking for retest of around 12.95.13, and then looking at 14.25 and a half. If you are able to get through that, 16.5. Look for consolidations in this zone and a setup for more upside. ARRY swing trade obviously went down below my ideal point here, tested the 50 and sharply bounced. This is a nice pattern still. Keep your eyes on 7.25. You get through that, we're looking at 8, 8.5, 9, something of that nature. Cara Therapeutics has been ballistic, literally going from 585 to almost 10 today. Now, it has taken out the declining top line slightly and closed above it, but it is short-term extended. It stocks up straight up near the old high. Don't be surprised to see it pull back and consolidate. If it doesn't, it could run right to 12, my next target. CoLucid, one of our swing trades that did great for us here. And then a slow, steady decline with most of the biotechs, as opposed to getting creamed like some of the others. It's had a very orderly pullback on low volume. The unbalanced volume line held up all month. Suddenly the reversal yesterday, which I believe I showed you, and today the follow through, which is testing resistance up around 35 3/4, 36. You can get to that level, I'm sorry, 38, 8.25. Now, if we can get to that level, we may be able to run this stock into the mid 40s and then the low to mid 50s. And I do think you're going to see that. EGRX is extended, but man, what a run. 30 points from 84 to, from 55 to about 88. 33 points. And it could be extended, but I do think that a run at the old highs around 99 or 100 may be in store. Let's see if we can get a setup consolidation in this area for that move to occur. EXEL, just when it looked like it was going to fall apart, boom, right back to the old highs. How about that? EXEL 1558 was the high September 28th before it came down to 10 and range, 10 and change. Today's high, 1578. How about that? Actually a nominal new multi-year high. The highest level reached on EXEL going way back 15 years. So is this ready for more? Well, the ideal setup is when you reach an old high, you consolidate nicely, don't pull back too much, and you blow through it. My target, believe it or not, is going to be close to 19, everybody. 19. GWPH, a cannabis, and probably the leading cannabis pharmaceutical firm, had that big news in March that exploded it, nearly doubled it. We made a swing on that one there and a swing over there. This has acted very well for us this year. Recently, the run up and the pullback, very orderly pullback, similar to CoLucid, AERI, and a couple others. I didn't show you AERI today, but that's another one that's acting well. Let me give you a quick look. AERI, same thing. Nice little pullback. Today, I didn't give it to you because it reversed and closed down on the day after getting to 39.5 from the low just a week ago of 32. So, this one and that look very similar, as does CoLucid. Let's take a look at it again. All three in a semi-exact pattern. So let's focus again on GWPH. It's run for 5 days in a row. It's got up near the old highs, which happens to be 137.88. Today's high was 134.51. If we get through that level, you're looking at a stock to 150 or better, and I mean quickly. Maybe a takeover as well. The Puma, phenomenal move also from 33.4 range up to 53.75. Now that high got it right to resistance at the 50, so it backed off. Let this consolidate a bit. If it doesn't, it does it orderly. I would not be shocked to see 67.70 again. Now the biotech LABU is the ETF has exploded as well. Very strong pullback, but an orderly one. Reversal day, inside day, a breakaway gap. This is considered a running gap, but a big breakaway running gap. And you can see that in the course of the last just 5 sessions, from 25 to 46.70, incredible move. It's a bit extended. It is up against resistance in here as well. Love to see it pull back and consolidate and hold around 40. Maybe set up a nice little flag or something, and then go again. Very optimistic about the way the biotechs look. Hell of a recovery. And back to the board, I want you to see a couple educational stocks, which may benefit from the Trump administration's desire to change the educational system. CECO popped sharply, broke out. The stock has recovered from the February lows when it looked like it was going back up there around 225 to 9.25 today. Looking at the 2-day chart, you'll see that it's above everything. The long-term chart shows a big base with a double bottom, and this kind of a lengthy base taking a few years can set up a very big move. Don't be surprised if this thing makes a run somewhere up into the 17 range, with short-term resistance around 15. The other one in that group is DeVry. Looking at the daily chart, you'll see the long declining pattern with lots of bear flags and wedges. A base finally developed, a pop and platform, then a pop to secondary resistance, retest, 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 set up a big consolidation, and then the last 2 days exploded through resistance. Looking short term for this one, it tests 30 and then 34. Marijuana stocks, I think I may have mentioned CGC.TO is a big winner. We first spotted it on that coil in the 4 range. I didn't want to give you, I just decided not to give you a swing. It was a little bit too speculative, but for sure this stock has gone more than doubled. As a matter of fact, it's gone from 4 to 9. But it's, at this point for me, the mini 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's call this also 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is the 5th of the 5th. I'm not sure that marijuana stocks leading up to the legislative decisions we've had in the electoral process may need to calm down. I noticed already that the other ones like CGRW and CANN and CBDS all backing off already. So don't get too excited about this one. If you haven't sold it, consider it tomorrow, my opinion. Gold ETFs. Well, the negative ETFs, the DUS for example, which had been basing for months, spiked today, 780 or 21% on 9.5 million. It closed above that line, which tells me we may very well see a quick run tomorrow to 48. We may even get it up to 50, 51. Keep an eye on this one. The JDST looks even better for me because it's got a bit of a flatter, more symmetrical base. It broke out today as well, jumping 558 or 21%. Your next target for me is probably going to be upwards of 38. Very interesting. A couple other stocks to look at today. The FAS Financial Services Index. Look at the way these bank stocks, financial services stocks are acting. This is a long wave 1 and 2. It's actually a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave 1, wave 2, and a 1, 2, 3 wave corrective. Wave 3 is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave process as well. So it's 1, 2, 3, and this is 4. The 5th wave is well underway. May very well get up to 36, maybe as high as 39 or 40 short term. One quick look at one of our swings from about a few weeks ago. NTRI had a major reversal day yesterday and popped out today. This is, I believe, a new all-time high. No, I'm sorry, it isn't. But it is the highest in 8 or 9 years, something like that. It looks to me like it wants to extend. My targets are now about 36.75, 37, and I'm looking at low 40s. 8.5 days to cover on that one. Every time I look at the chart of soda, I'm amazed that I did not give you, this is my favorite pattern. A base breakaway gap on big volume, that beautiful flag here, another one there, and now a big one there, and yet I'm never giving you a swing at a stock. My bad. It's now up against resistance after having a huge day on a great earnings report. This is up 488 or 17.5% on 3.2 million. This is a clean breakout. Looks like it's going higher. I would have to target somewhere up about secondary target 48, immediate target about 39.40. Could be a swing. I'll wait to see if I get a pullback opportunity tomorrow. And UIS doing great. It popped and broke out, pulled back for a few days, and today it really popped. $1.45 or 14% on $1.7 million. Looks to me like it extends right here to 14, 15 zone, my next target. And finally is XPL Logistics, also a swing, which is acting great, and that broke out of this whole consolidation. Inverse head and shoulder, a massive one, can lead to a very big move up to, I believe, 50 or better. And at one point, maybe we'll see this at 60 or better. But for now, watch resistance just above here at about 41. If we get through that with any kind of real energy, like we did here, we could very well see 46.7. And folks, that's the exhaustive look at some of the longs that are of interest to me and the tech traders. Have a good evening, everyone. TGIF tomorrow. I'll be talking to you from my desert home in La Quinta, California. For now,